salutations, and a good evening. And depending on when you see this, I wish you all a Merry Christmas. Eve or morning, depending on where you live. For me, it just passed. So, I'm some German guy's critic. And, well, this is my first video. I'm not really someone who yaps through a script, I just go off my mind. So, if you don't mind a certain level of rambling and speculation, then, well, this might just be the thing for you. Regarding today's topic, one I think I might cover in a handful of videos. Until the current point, there is not too much to be said from my current perspective. And while my videos, as my username suggests, usually have some form of criticism, I will mindly bring up the fact that I do not view harassment of the named people as a positive in any kind, shape or form. I should be quite able to criticize someone while still having a certain level of respect for them, due to the fact that I do not believe those people to be evil, more misguided. People, all people, myself not taken out of that equation, can tend to make mistakes and slip up every now and then. From my observation of her, I think she might be one of those people. Why do I also might ask, in comparison to other people I will cover here, I would more argue that she's even half as bad. While there certainly are criticisms to be made, as there always is, if it comes to people I intend to cover later on, she is quite a harmless person. Even if her misguidedness is still a thing that my opinion does exist, it certainly does not come out of a mean-spirited position. Quite the opposite, I would argue. Today's subject of the matter is quite a good-hearted individual, or at least from my limited perspective, that is what she strikes me as. Someone who really does not have bad intentions in mind, but perhaps, well, we get there when we get there. While I've been rambling around the fact already, today's subject, as you probably will know since I'm believing you to be capable of the ability of reading, is Tomoe Umari, also known as the Hanse or the Horse, a military VTuber. Luckily not a VTuber who is there to recruit people for the military. That would be a whole different can of worms, literally. But no, she just happens to be a member of the US military, also to my knowledge for a limited time at this point. She apparently intends to leave at some point, fully doing VTubing from then on, which, yeah, probably a wise career choice, I would argue. However, as of now, she is still part of the military in some regard, to my knowledge. What is to be said about her? I have started watching her around the beginning of the year, I suppose. It may have been early summer, I may have seen her before, but not actively enough to recall that too directly. Pardon me. Well, she's, how would I describe her? Quite a quirky, good-spirited person, a bit dorky, yeah, perhaps that fits. The classical tomboy, something I personally find quite endearing, probably my reason for sticking around to begin with. Also, the channel used to be quite so at the start. That, however, did change for a reason of why. Because the change started basically around the time when she herself brought up that this channel is say so. I recall it was around the time I think I saw a stream where she brought it up. But you have to take my word for it. I don't really have to back up. Who knows, maybe I just imagined it, but I have the memory in my head at least. Someone who's well dedicated will probably find a clip of that. Fact of the point, however, is this has changed. She has become more embracive. Thank you, I'm trying to video here. More embracive of her other side of the community, which is already has always been quite strong, I would argue. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, rather it's an interesting development since she has been doing YouTube for a few years as a YouTuber. Usually those changes happen like in the first two. She has been there longer, but it only started off, I don't know, December maybe around this time. No, more like fall, it was the fall, yeah. How it came to this, I hope it was her own conclusion of, hey, I actually like doing this kind of stuff and not, you know, feeling herself pressured by it to that quite massive part of community engagement and that kind of stuff. I really would not like that. Matter of the fact, that is not even why we are here. It is, however, why I personally started engaging as much, since, well, it isn't really my thing. While I do watch those kind of content creators every once in a while, it is not really the vibe I personally enjoy myself.